योगा कलया हृदयाब्जकोशं धन्यैश्चिरादपि यथारुचि गृह्यमाणः यः प्रस्फुरत्यविरतं परिपूर्णरूपः श्रेयस्समे दिशतु शाश्वतिकं मुकुन्दः अमरीकबरीभारभ्रमरी मुखरीकृतं दूरीकरोतु दुरितं गौरी चरणपङ्कजं परस्परतपःसम्पत्फलायितपरस्परौ प्रपञ्चमातापितरौ प्राञ्चौ जायापतिस्तुमः. Okay. We finished with Tulya Yogita and Dipakam last time. Now this Avritti Dipakam is a kind of alankara which is named as Dipakam, but it does not have the classic signs of Dipaka alankara. So what we saw in the difference between Tulya Yogita and Dipakam, let me just recollect that a little bit. Okay, so in Dipaka Alankara, you had Varnya and Avarnya should be present in the same sentence or same expression, and both of those should be connected by one Samana Dharma. In Tulya Yogita, it can either be two Prakritams or two Varnyas are connected by one Dharma, or two non-contextual, Aprakritam, Avarnyam, should be connected by Dharma. So it is totally separate in Tulya Yogita, whereas in Dipaka, you have both coming in and being connected by one Dharma. Okay, keep this in mind. This won't even feature in our Avritti Dipakam. So it's going to be totally confused. Trividham Dipakavrittau Bhaved Avritti Dipakam. There are three types of Avritti Dipakam. Pada Avrittihi, Artha Avrittihi, Padartha Ubaya Avrittihi. Avritti always means repetition. So this is just a repetition alankara. Take it as just Avritti alankara. The Dipakam part is whichever is the Samana Dharma, that is the one that is being repeated here. Okay, there ends its similarity with the Dipaka Alankara. It shares more similarity with Tulya Yogita Alankara. We will know in a bit. So Dipakasya Aneka Upakararthataya Dipasthaniyasya Padasya Arthasya Ubhayorva Avrittau Satyam Avritti Dipakam Trividham Bhavati. So Trividham Avritti Dipakam. Three types of Avritti Dipaka is there. Dipakasya. What is the Dipaka? Dipakasya Avrittehe. What is the Dipakam here? Aneka Upakararthataya. He only takes the meaning of Aneka Upakaram. He does not split it as Varnya, Avarnya, because all of the examples are going to be only for the Prakritam here. The padam which is being repeated will be a padam that connects to Prakritam, to Varnyam. That is how it's going to be. Okay, but Dipakasya, when we use a lamp, it is useful for many things. It is useful for a person who visits that house. It's useful for someone who is going on the road. It's useful for people inside the house, people who want to sit out right outside the house. It has so many different usages. In the same way, Dipasthaniyasya Padasya, a padam, a word which acts like a deepa, like a lamp. Arthasya, it can also be a meaning which acts like a lamp, useful for many things. Ubhayoho, both padam and the meaning will be repeated. Avrittau Satyam, when there is a repetition of word, meaning, or both that connects many things, then it is called Padavritti Dipakam or Arthavritti Dipakam or Padartha Ubhaya Avritti Dipakam iti. Etesham Kramena Udaharanani Diyante. Now, do not look at this translation here. It connects the relevant and the non-relevant through a common attribute, is repeated, is what is given here. But if you look at the examples, it is very tough to look at that. He himself gives an explanation for why this does not follow the Dipaka Lakshana. Okay. We look at the example here. Padavritti Dipakasya Udaharanam. Note, padasya avrittihi yatra vartate. Padasyaiva avrittihi vartate, natu tadarthasya avrittihi. Even if the same word is repeated, it is not said in the same meaning. In other words, it takes on a different meaning there. Why this is not slesha? One word itself is capable of giving two meanings, then it is slesha. Whereas here we are using the same word twice. Once it has one meaning, the second time it has a different meaning. Okay? Varshatyambuda malayam varshati eshacha sharvari. Think of it as a viraha state. Okay, this is the description of a virahavastha. Ambudamala iyam varshati, varsham karoti. So this meghamala, ambuda mala, ambu dadati iti ambudaha. So ambudasya mala, meghasya mala, meghapanktihi. This row of clouds, iyam, meghapanktihi, seems to give us rain here. Iyam ambudamala varshati. This gives water, varshati. So iyam ambudamala meghapanktihi varshati jalam munchati. Esha sharvari. Sharvari is night. Now, for a girl, for an ayika or a nayaka who is suffering from separation from the other person, the moment he sees the clouds and he is also separated from his beloved, then he feels the separation even more because he wants, it will take a longer time. You have to wait for the Varsha Kalam to go off and then only you can go and meet because travel during Varsha Kala is not possible here. So Varshati Ambudamala iyam, that is one cause of viraha. The second cause is Sharvari Esha Varshati. This entire night, one night, seems to behave like one year, 365 days. Okay, so Varshaiva Acharati iti. So Sharvari cha Ratrihi cha Varshati. Varshaha Samvatsaraha iva Acharati. So Ityatra Slesha Vashat. There is Slesha here. And he says, Prakrita, Aprakrita, Upakara, Yogyasya, Varshati, iti Padasya, Vakya Dvaye, Avrittehe, Sattvat, Arthasya cha Binnatvat, Padavritti Dipakam. Now, what is the Prakritam here and what is the Aprakritam here? It is difficult to determine if you take the context as Virahavastha. If you take Sharvari as the Prakritam, then you can take the rain as the Aprakritam. If you take the rainy season, I am describing the rainy season, then that becomes your Prakritam and the description of the night becomes the Aprakritam. You can have it like that also. But if you take the context of Virahavastha, then both become your context here and both will fit only in the context. Then it loses its status of being a dipaka alankara. You only take it as a padavritti dipaka alankara. The padam varshati is repeated here. So let's take it as prakritam and aprakrita. He doesn't mention which is the prakrita and which is the aprakrita here. So take either as prakritam, let's say. Okay. So prakrita, aprakrita, upakara, yogyasya, varshati iti padam. The word varshati seems to be useful for both the context and the non-context. Prakrita, aprakrita. Upakara yogyasya varshati iti padasya vakya dvaye avrittehe sattvat. There is a repetition of this word in both sentences. Because of that, and arthasya cha binnatvat, this is another rule where the meaning is different here. Because the first varshati ambudamala ityatra tu jalasekaha, dvitiye tu varshati, varshaiva acharati. It is so long that just those 8 hours of night or whatever seems to be like one whole year. Iti pada avritti dipakam. Virahini vachanatvat ratrehe samvatsarayamanatvam yuktam. How can one night be like a whole year? It is possible because it is a virahini who is talking in this manner. So it is a word, these are the words of a woman in separation. So she is unable to tolerate that separation. So it seems like a really long time. Vastutastu, when you're involved in work, everything seems to run fast. No? When you don't have any work and you're just sitting and you're thinking about something else, everything seems to be long there. Vastutastu atra dipaka lakshanam nasti. This is his this Vyakhyatas addition here. So Vastutastu, in reality, strictly speaking, if you see this, there is no dipakam here. Viraha uddipakataya meghamalayaha ratrehe cha prakritatvat. As I told you, both can be an uddipana vibhava for the virahavastha. Whether it is raining or that the night seems really long, both seem to be the context here. If you take the context of a woman who is in separation, she can feel both here. She can feel that separation more when she encounters either Varsha Kala or the night. Tasmat avrittihi eva alankaraha. Dipaka chayayaha satvat avritti dipakam iti vyapadeshaha. There is a semblance of dipakam here, and that is why they call it as dipaka. So avrittihi eva alankaraha. The alankara's name should be only avritti. There is a semblance of dipaka, hence you call it as avritti dipaka. Okay, clear? The Aparam Udaharanam here follows the same principle as the original. So, Utkanthayati Meghanam Mala Vargam Kalapinam Yunam cha Utkanthayati Adya Manasam Makaradhvajaha. Meghamala, Meghanam Mala Kalapinam Vargam Utkanthayati. Here, Utkanthayati is just simply makes it raise its neck and see. So when there is a row of clouds, Megha Garjanam Bhavati, somehow the peacocks dance during the Varsha Kalam, and so they love the Varsha Kalam. As soon as they see the clouds, they look up to the clouds. So Utkanthayati. Kantham urdhvam kritva pashyanti iti. So atra meghamala mayura samuham kalapinam vargam. Kalapi, kalapaha is the and the toga solron இல்லையா, and the feathers of the அதுக்கு ஏதாவது particular word இருக்கா? The
peacock
feather தான் இல்ல, ஆனா இல்ல அந்த spreading out foliage ஏதோ autumn foliage மாதிரி சொல்றேன் நீங்க. Kalapaha asya asti iti kalapi, because it has a beautiful row of feathers like that. So foliage of feathers nanna irukke. Kalapinam vargam utkanthayati urdhva kantam karoti. Now the second half of the sentence is makaradhvajaha yunam manasam cha adya utkanthayati. When there is meghamala, it also makes the young people utkanthayati utsukam karoti. It makes them also feel eager because they can go and join with their beloved. They don't need to roam around now that the clouds are arriving. Usually you don't get out of the house, so you can rush back to your house as soon as you see the cloudy day. Durdinamnu solrom இல்லையா? So it is called a durdinam because you don't venture out much on a cloudy day. So meghanam mala makaradhvajaha api yunam manaha utkanthayati. But you can, in a way, this could be that you can take it as prakritam and aprakritam, where the prakritam can be description of meghamala and the aprakritam is the youth are not even seeing the clouds. Let's take it as a separate aprakritam where makaradhvajaha is manmataha. Manmataha yunam manasam chittam utkanthayati. In general, just as how the manmatha makes youth long for their beloved, utsukam karoti, tatha atrapi meghamala urdhvakantam karoti, utkanthayati. So the word is repeated, whereas the meaning is different here. In the first case, it is urdhvakantam karoti. In the second case, utsukam karoti, makes them eager, long for their, yearn for their beloved. So yunam manaha utkanthayati iti arthabhede sati padasya avrittihi padavritti dipakam. Okay.
Isn't the so the artha is different, right? Just like previously, varshati and varshati. Here
Yes.
also utkantayati has got a different artha. So what's the difference between the two examples?
No difference. Why? Oh,
Oh, there's no
and
difference.
அவர் கொஞ்சம் எக்ஸ்ட்ராவா எதையோ போட்டிருப்பாருங்கிறதுக்காக சொல்றேன்.
இல்ல ரெண்டு எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் இருக்கு இல்லையா? அப்புறம் ஏதாவது பேதம் இருக்கணும் இல்லையா?
இல்ல ஒரு ஸ்லோகத்துல அபரம் உதாகரணம்ங்கிறார், அவ்வளவுதான். வெயிட் லெட் மீ see. அப்படிலாம் ஒண்ணும் போடல.
அவ்வளவுதானா? ஓகே. யூசுவலி ஏதோ ஒரு டிஃபரன்ஸ் போடுவார் அவர். ஓகே.
Yeah, usually there is some difference. The only difference that I can see is, but both are Varshartu only. Context of Varshartu, you can have it as Prakritam only, which is also even difficult to explain. Iyanstu Bedaha, Utkantayati iti udaharane, Vastava Dharma Aikya Abhave api, Slesha Bhittika. वास्तव सांपादिक भेदेन द्विविधम् इति पर्यवसितम्. तुल्ययोगितांगर. Both are only slesha adhyavasitam. Then what is the big difference? I don't know.
Astu.
Yeah.
Is it kalapinam utkantayati? That is aprakrita, because that is there that. But in the previous one, both were prakrita. But here this is
here
aprakrita,
also
right?
varshartautu ubhayorapi tatra prakritatvam.
Kalapinam meghanam utkantayati. How is it related to this manasa
Varshartu? No. Take it rainy season. So during rainy season, let's say you're describing rainy season. Then during rainy season, the Mayura also looks up to the Meghamala. The youth are also eager because of the Manmatha, Kama, Vritti in their mind. So both are contextual there. With respect to Varshartu. So it depends on what you take as the context. No? That's why.
If I just take Utkantayati as lifting its head and looking up, without any feeling inside.
No, don't take it as feeling inside. You can just take it as Meghamalam Drishtva Tatra Urdhvakantam Pashyanti Meghamalam. That's all. Meghamala tu Varshartau eva bhavati. Tatha atrapi Varshartau eva Yunam Manasi Kamaha tu Tan Utkanthayati iti. Utsukam karoti. If you can find aprakritam and prakritam, that is awesome. But somehow in my mind, I feel both are prakritam.
Okay.
Yeah. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Our point of focus should be that the padam is repeated, but the padam has different meaning in both cases. That's all.
Okay. And how do you contrast it with the Shabda Alankara like Yamakam?
Shabda Yamakam is different. Yamaka need not have the same meaning word. There is no focus to the meaning there. It is just a repetition of words. Here there is a beauty. It contributes to the beauty of it. Even though there is a repetition of word, there is a meaning difference here. There is no, in Yamakam, there is no, there can be Sabhanga also or Abhanga also. It can come within a pada, where that set of repeated letters need not even have a meaning there. இப்போ ஐய சுமனஸ் சுமனஸ் சுமனோஹர காந்தி யுதே இருக்கு இல்லையா? சுமனஸ் சுமன சுமன Sumano, you can't just, maybe in that it is fine. Or Rajani varad. It's actually Raja, Ni Raja, appadithane pirikkanum. So each Rajani does not have the same, you cannot have meaningful Rajanis 5 times there in that shloka. Correct. That is Yamaka. That is Shabdalankar. Next is Arthavritti Dipakasya Udaharanam. Here the words are different, but the meaning is the same. Unmilanti kadambani sputanti kutajadrumaha. Kadambani unmilanti. Kadamba is the other word for kadamba is neepam. Those flowers are actually blooming. This is also during rainy season only. So kadamba, kadambani unmilanti. The kadamba flowers are also blooming, and kutajadrumaha. Kutajana ennan theriyala. Probably they are malli nanikkren illaya, jasmine, kutaja. Yeah, it's a kind of
Gundumalli?
In the Nandyavatta.
Oh, Nandyavatta. Okay, okay.
That is kutaja. Kutajadrumaha api sputanti. The kutaja trees are also blooming. That is, they are in the muttu vekkirudungrol, yeah. That is the part here. So muttu vechu malarradu. Oh, giri mallika potirukke. So kadambani, kadamba kusumani, unmilanti, they are blooming. Kutajadrumaha girimallikaha api sputanti vikasanti ityatra shabdayoho bhede api sputanti unmilanti iti dvayoho api shabdayoho bhede vikasa rupa arthasya avrittehe, but the meaning is the same. Unmilanti and sputanti mean the same. That is, they are blooming. Vikasa rupa arthasya avrittehe arthavritti dipakam. The meaning is repeated here. Okay. Aseva aparam udaharanam shamayati jaladhara dhara chataka yunam trisham chiropanatam kshapayati cha vadhu lochana jaladhara kaminam pravasa ruchim. Shamayati jaladhara dhara chataka yunam chira upanatam trisham shamayati. Jaladhara dhara, the flow of rain from the clouds, shamayati, it pacifies the thirst that these young chataka birds have, which they have had for a long time. Chira upanatam. So the young birds, chataka yunam, here you can take it as chatak, there is a kind of samasokti madri. So there is a thirst that these people have, these young people have, which is being satisfied by the jaladhara, by the coming of the Varsha Ritu. So Chira Upanatam, the thirst, Trisham, the thirst which is Chira Upanatam, which has been there for a long time, is being pacified. Shamayati. It is being adakkaradu in artham. The dagatta adakkaradu. Edu enna jaladhara dhara. Megathanudiya dhare. Jaladhara dhara chataka yunam trisham chiropanatam trisham shamayati. Vadhu lochana jaladhara. The tears from the eyes of the women. Kaminam pravasa ruchim kshapayati. The lovers who want to go and stay for a long time outside, they want to go for business. The moment they see their young wives' eyes tearing up, they immediately stop that ruchi in their mind. It completely removes that, ruchi to go out, go to long distance. That ruchi is completely removed by the tears in the eyes of the Navavadhu. So they are just married and the husband wants to go out on business. When she hears that, her eyes starts, welling up with tears, and tears start flowing. Jaladhara, vadhu lochana jaladhara. Now, what does this dhara do? It stops the kami, the pravasa ruchi that the kami has. It can immediately stop. So here, shamayati, kshapayati, both mean nivarayati, but the words are different. Okay, so atra shamayati kshapayati iti shabdayoho bhede api, even though the words are different, ekasyaiva arthasya avrittihi iti arthavritti dipakam. So the same meaning is repeated, hence it is called arthavritti. Now the third variety is shabdhartha ubhaya avritti dipakasya udaharanam. Madhyanti chatakastriptaha madhyanti cha shikhavalaha. Chatakaha Triptaha madyanti. The moment the clouds come, and he's played with Varshartu in all cases here. So Chatakaha, the Chataka birds, they live only from the water that comes from the Megham. So Triptaha Santaha. They're very happy and satisfied now. So they are a little madyanti, they are a little happy here. Santushtaha bhavanti, madyanti. Tushyanti. Madhyanti cha shikhavalaha. Because the clouds have arrived and they have poured down rain. So the Chataka birds are very satisfied. Hence they are also happy. The same is the case for the peacocks also. Shikhavalaha, those mayuraha also. Shikhavalaha garche, I think shikha asyasti, they have that இது இல்ல இந்த கொண்டை இருக்கு இல்லையா அதுக்கு அதனால இந்த அதுக்கும் அந்த கொண்டை இருக்கும் இல்லையோ சிகாத்ஸ்ய அஸ்தி இதி சிகா shikhavalaha mayuraha mayuraha
isn't the shika that you're referring to the same as the kalapa you said previously?
I thought kalapa வந்து தோகை
you mean the
and the three things வந்து நம்ம வரைவோம் தெரியுமோ இல்லையோ.
Okay. So kalapa is the spread of the tail feathers, that whole and the shika is the three feathers on top of the head.
Yes.
Okay. So that crest.
Okay.
That is the shika. Correct. So shikhavalaha mayuraha cha meghadarshanena garjana shravanena cha nrityanti. So madhyanti, they also become very happy. Chatakaha megha udaka panena, by drinking the water from the clouds, triptaha santushtaha madhyanti mattaha bhavanti. Okay, they become intoxicated because they have had their fill here. Shikhavalaha mayurascha, peacocks, meghadarshanena tad garjana shravanena cha, by seeing the clouds and listening to the sound of the thunder of the clouds, madhyanti mattaha bhavanti, they become intoxicated and dance. So iti atra madhyanti iti padasya madaprapti rupa arthasya cha avrittatvat. The same mattaha iti arthaha api atra punah. So the repetition of the meaning is also there. Madhyanti iti padasya api avrittihi bhavati. So shabdartha ubhaya avritti dipakam. Okay. Asyeva aparam udaharanam vadanena nirjitam tava niliyate chandrabimbam ambudhare aravindam apicha sundari niliyate pathasam pure. Okay. Okay. So vadanena tava vadanena nirjitam chandrabimbam ambudhare niliyate. The moon has been won over by your face. So the face is much more beautiful than the moon. So the moon goes and hides behind the cloud, it seems. So tava vadanena nirjitam chandrabimbam, the moon that has been conquered by your face goes and hides, niliyate, hides behind in the cloud. Ambudhare niliyate. He sundari aravindamapi pathasam pure niliyate. Aravindamapi tava vadanena nirjitam sat, being conquered by your face. Again, the face is more beautiful than the moon. The face is also more beautiful than the lotus. So aravindamapi, now what does the lotus do? It goes and hides inside the lake. Pathasam pure. Puraha atra, you can take it as a flood. It covers itself in the water flood. So Varshartau, there are clouds. The cloud can cover the moon as it goes. The clouds, when it waters down, the waters flow onto the lake and it can submerge the lotus here. Someone as a kavi who is looking at it, and probably he has a beautiful lady beside him and he is describing the Varshartu here to her. So the moon is also, your face has won over the moon and the lotus here. Both are going and hiding their faces here. They don't want to show their faces now because it's not as beautiful as your face. So niliyate iti padasya tu atra avrittihi bhavati, arthasya api avrittihi bhavati. Atra,
Parantu chandraha tu ratrau agacchati Aravindasya saundaryam tu dine drishyate.
Correct. Maybe it is right in the evening time that he is talking. How about that?
But her
Eva.
face is
Eva.
beautiful whole day.
Chandrodaya samaye
Priya.
Kamalasyapi tatra,
Okay.
Nivedanam. I will try as much as possible to justify the author, okay?
Yeah.
அப்படி முடியலன்னா தான் அவ்வளவுதான்.
Yeah, her face can be beautiful in the daytime as well as in the night time.
அப்போ so he can't compose one half of the shloka in the night and then the other half of the shloka in the morning. So it's anyway, that's fine. So atra sometimes chandrodayaha tu tatra surya astamana samaye chandrodayaha tu purvam bhavati khalu. So during a cloudy day you may not find the sun in its all brightness also. So the moon can exist at the same time too. So it's a possibility. Anyway, so atra sundari vadanena nirjitam chandrabimbam meghe niliyate. The moon goes and hides behind the cloud. Tiro bhavati, it becomes invisible, or it just covers itself. Aravindam jalanam puraha, it's a flood. Niliyate tiro bhavati iti. Niliyate iti shabdasya tirodhana rupasya arthasya cha. Both the word niliyate and the meaning of tirodhanam, covering. Avrittehe shabdartha ubhaya avritti dipakam. Yeah. So any questions so far? Okay. So the next alankara here is Prativastupama alankara. Now Prativastupama, as you see, the name itself has the aupamyam here. So upama, Prativastu, upama, alankara. Both these names are important to understand what this alankara is. So there is a vastu, Prativastu bhavaha. There is also an aupamyam which is gamyam. The similarity is suggested here. Vakyayor ekasamanye prativastupama mata. There are two sentences here. One is the upamana vakyam, the other is the upameya vakyam. This is also important because in upama alankara you have just eka vakya. There is only one vakyam. Whereas in Prativastupama alankara, you need two separate sentences here, fully meaningful sentences. So, and one sentence should be the upamana vakyam, the other sentence should be the upameya vakyam. Vakyayoho, eka samanye. In both of these sentences, the samanya dharma should be the same, but it will be represented by different words. Okay, what is the difference between this and Avrtti Dipakam? There is no aupamyam in Avrtti Dipakam, whereas here there is an aupamya which is suggested. Okay,
And also there it was a repetition of the same word. Here it is not.
This
the
is
same.
Arthavritti Dipakam, yeah. It can be confused with the Arthavritti Dipakam. It is different from the Arthavritti Dipakam because there is aupamyam suggested. Similarity. Okay. Vakyayor ekasamanye prativastupama mata tapena bhrajate suraha shuraschapena rajate. Suraha iti suryaha. The sun bhrajate, he shines because of his tapa, because of his heat. Shuraha, a brave person. Chapena rajate, he shines because of his bow. These are two sentences here. Bhrajate, rajate, both they mean shining. Prakashate iti. So the same samana dharma is there in the first sentence and the second sentence. So let's take the prakritam as probably, upamana vakyam and the upameya vakyam. So the upamana vakyam is given in the beginning. Suraha, just as how the sun shines with his heat, in the same manner, a brave person also shines with his bow. So there is a vastu, prativastu. It is like a bimba pratibimba bhava, but you don't call this as bimba pratibimba bhavam because there is an aupamyam that is there here and the samana dharma is the same. You're going to read the next alankara also. Adnalda I said it's going to be a confusion class here. Ella orre mari irukra mari irukum. You know, everything seems very similar, these alankaras, but you have to know what is the slight difference that distinguishes between this and the next one, or the earlier one and this one. Okay, between
so you said Bimba Pratibimba Bhava, and that was the first question that came to mind, Anaka. Before you said it, so here there is a upama that's going on between the Shuraha and the Suraha.
Yes.
Just like this, just like with the Surah, so with the Shura Abdina. So
Yes.
Bimba Pratibimba Bhavatla என்ன difference upon
அங்க வந்து the samanya dharma will be different.
இப்படி குணவு தோஷம் புதவு கிருண்ணன் அங்க இருக்கு இல்லையா, அந்த எக்ஸாம்பிள்ல அப்போ என்ன டிஃபரன்ஸ் அங்க?
Grahanam is different, no? Grahanam iti padameva tatra avritti, but the meaning is different, no?
Oh, yeah, got it. Okay. Okay.
So vakyayoho upamana upameya vakyayoho eka samanye ekasmin samana dharme sati. So vakyayoho in the upamana vakyam and in the upameya vakya eka samanye ekasmin samana dharme sati, when there is only one samanya dharma between the two vakya, in the two vakyas. Prithang nirdishta eka samana dharma anvaye sati. The samana dharma has been nirdishta, it has been indicated prithak by different words. And anvaya, it is being connected with the upamanam, or it is being connected with the upameya. The same samana dharma is present, but it is prithak nirdishta, it has to be indicated separately by two separate words. Then it is called Prativastupama alankara. Prativastupama mata drishta. Mata is equal to drishta. Yatra upamana upameya ghatita vakyayoho ekaha samana dharmaha shabda bhedena pritang nirdishyate tatra prativastupama iti nishkarshaha. So the tatparyam of this lakshanam is, wherever there is a vakyam which has upamana, upamanena ghatitam ekam vakyam vartate, tatra upameyena ghatitam vakyam api vartate, dvayorapi ekaha eva samana dharmaha vartate, tatra shabda bedena prithak samana dharmastu ekaha. The artham is the same, but in each sentence you will find a different word there. Prithak nirdishyate, nirdishyate, tatra vastupama, prativastupama. Prativastu prativakyartham upama samana dharmaha asyam iti vyutpattehe anvarthanama alankaraha. The alankara's name also fits the definition of this alankara. So prati vastu, in every vastu, in the vastu and its reflection of, and its prati vastu, corresponding object. An object is being described and a corresponding object is also given there. So in every object, prati vastu, prativakyartham, or in every vakyam, upama, the samana dharma is the same. So by this vyutpatti, by this etymological derivation for the alankara nama, it fits properly. Suraha suryaha tapena atapena bhrajate prakashate. Verum pratipadartham is being given here. Shuraha veerapurushaha chapena dhanusha, with his bow, rajate prakashate iti udaharanam. Atra bhrajate rajate iti bhinna padabhyam ekayeva dharmaha prakashana rupaha. With two words, bhrajate and rajate, they are two different words, different dhatu, whereas the same dharma is being mentioned here because both have the same meaning. Prakashana rupaha upamana upameya ghatita vakyayoho nirdishtaha. Suraha upamanam, shuraha upameyam. Okay, idukku lovely shlokam. Idilla sthira shaili gunavatam khala buddhyana badhyate ratnadipasya hi shikha vatyaya api na nashyate. Sthira gunavatam shaili, sthira shaili khala buddhya api na badhyate. A person, people who have good qualities, they have a very steady nature. Sthira shaili, the shaili is vrittam, or their behavior. They don't have this double agent work and all. So they have a very steadfast shaili, way of doing things. So Gunavatam Sthira Shaili, Khala Buddhya na Badhyate, it is not affected, it is not na dushyate, it is not, or it is not removed. That Sthira Buddhi, or a good behavior of these people who have great qualities, their vrittam, their behavior is never removed even with the association of a bad person's buddhi. Khala buddhya, there is a person who comes and tries to associate himself with the good people. The other person does not have a good durbuddhihi saha taya durbuddhya swasya durbuddhya eva asya sadvrittam, it is not possible for him to remove. Ratnadipasya hi shikha vatyayapi na nashyate. In the same manner, you find that this is the upameya vakyam. We are trying to describe the good qualities of people who have guna. Ratnadipasya shikha. Imagine a lamp, a jewel lamp. Aதாவது, our electric lamps of today. You know, you have this small lamp looking like thing which has a small bulb on top. You plug it in and it will always keep, burning in front of the even if there is a big hurricane, it is not going to get destroyed here. So Ratnadipasya Shikha. In those days, it was only Ratnadipa. They kept nice, light emitting jewels there in the form of Deepam. Then that Dipasya Shikha, the jwala that comes out of that Shikha, can never be destroyed. Na nashyate, by even if it is a vatya. Vatya is vatanam samuha. Vatya. It's like a hurricane or a tornado. It cannot be destroyed even if a big hurricane comes in. The vatyangardu, remember we have read it in Shukana's Upadesha. Purushasya prakritihi vatya iva niyamanaha shushkapatram iva purushasya prakritihi duram niyate iti.
Vati shabdha ikaranta
vati. Vatya ityeva shabdha akaranta strilingaha. Vatyaya.
Okay, got it.
Sthira shaili gunavatam. Shaili sadvrittam. Ratnameva deepaha iti ratnadeepaha. Purvardham upameya vakyam, uttarardham upamana vakyam. So what is the upamana and the upameya? Ratnadeepasya shikha eva upamana matra. Upameyantu gunavatam sthira shaili. And nasha abhava rupaha samana dharmaha. Na badhyate na nashyate. These are the two words. They are represented by different words, but it is the same meaning of nasha abhavaha. There is no destruction for these two. Iti ubhayatra shabda bhedena upattaha iti prativastupama lakshana sangatihi. Clear? With this
is like Kanyakumari's nose ring, right? That it shines even from far.
It was like a lighthouse madri irundhu.
Yeah, it was like lighthouse. That's what they say, right?
Yeah.
Nama tatra prativastunah samana dharmah uktah. Iti avagantum shakyate kila?
Yes. Solla. The next one is Drishtanta alankara. I think we will stop with this here to avoid further confusion.